You there. You know comic books now, don't you? The Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC failed franchise disaster have made sure of that. Using your knowledge of the Justice League Snyder Cut, the best movie ever made, I want you to name who you think is the greatest villain the Justice League has ever faced. Imagine if Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Ryan Reynolds, The Flash, and Cyborg were all out doing their team superheroing duties. Who do you think might be the most evil, the most diabolical, the most sinister foe they could ever face? Well, it's gotta be Darkseid, right? Evil space tyrant who goes around conquering thousands of planets in the name of eliminating hope and free will? That sounds like some truly evil shit, but nah, that's not the right answer. Okay, let's get a bit more analytical. Maybe it's good old Chrome Dome Lex Luthor, the embodiment of pride and ego. He has done some seriously twisted stuff in the name of getting his way. And the scariest part is that all of his evil deeds are just him being a really smart man without any superpowers. But it's not him. There is a ton of debate and answers. Maybe this question leads to a joke answer that says Warner Brothers is the worst enemy of the entire DC franchise. Maybe it's a bit more observational and says evil Superman, such as the one from the Injustice series, is the most dick-ass villain because he both fights his own team and puts them down their strongest member. I mean, have you seen his punch animation? Holy shit, that guy has to be evil. It's neither of those. In fact, it's not even someone related to the DC universe. It's someone that you figured out minutes ago because you read the title of the video and looked at the thumbnail. The Justice League's, and in fact the entire DC universe's most disgusting villain, is former Subway spokesman Jared Fogle. Okay, so somehow, a handful of you out there watching didn't immediately cover your mouth and bulge your eyes and gasp like this when I mentioned the name. Because either you forgot who Jared Fogle is, or you weren't paying attention to the news in 2015. Jared Fogle was a super famous spokesman for Subway from 1999 to 2015. If you're old enough to drink liquor, chances are you remember seeing this dude everywhere. He went around claiming that he lost 245 pounds just from switching to his 10,000 calorie Jiggly Boy diet to eating Subway sandwiches. And this mug, complete with his standard American-sized pants, were plastered all over television commercials nationwide. There was an entire South Park episode about him. He made cameos in WWE wrestling, was in movies like Sharknado 2, and was even invited to the Hollywood premiere of Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. And all was fine. America had a dweeby crossover between Adam Sandler and the angry video game nerd representing their always worse than your local deli sandwich brand, and all was fine. Until about 2007, when certain allegations came out. Publicly, not much was done at the time, but it did lead to an elaborate FBI operation, which culminated in a 2015 raid on Jared's residence and his arrest. Jared Fogle was charged with distribution and possession of he had 5.6 terabytes of it. That's a lot of no-no pictures. And also dropping character for a minute, that's incredibly fucking disgusting and sickening. But history cannot be forgotten, despite how much you try to scrub records. So today, we'll be looking at what is probably the worst age line of comic books in the history of planet Earth. If you thought the new Guardians was bad with its fumbling of sensitive political topics, just wait until an absolutely reprehensible, vile human being tries to convince you to eat at a fast food sandwich chain. I feel gross just thinking about it. I don't know what the opposite of proudly presenting something is, but that's where we are now. I present with full apprehension and disgust Justice League Subway Famous Fans, officially known as Subway Presents Justice League. It's a 4-issue series about why you should eat at Subway, starring the Justice League and fun celebrity cameos. That was made in 2011. You can see why this might be a bad thing. Issue 1 is entitled Sacked and features cameos from some famous football players: Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, and damn you, Demukong, and other famous football players in Hawaii for a charity match. Man, I'm beat. This Hawaiian heat is killing me. I need an energy boost. Yeah, I'm starting to regret coming out of retirement to train with you guys. Hey listen, I bet we could sneak out of here and grab some sandwiches and drinks, and be back before they miss us. Sounds good to me, Justin, but where are we gonna go? Come on, man, where do you think? We want something energizing and delicious, right? What does that say to you? Subway! Registered trademark. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's more unnatural here, this dialogue or a Justice League advertisement that would ever put the green fucking lantern in front of Superman. The fact that Justin Tuck specifies some sandwiches and drinks instead of using the word food like, I don't know, anyone who is above the age of a preschooler would is really hysterical to me. That makes me believe that that's his entire unique contribution to the NFL. All right, Giants, we're looking at a pretty rough season. Manning, I'm gonna need you to nail those long bombshell passes. Pierre-Paul, I'm gonna need you to keep pushing as hard as you can. And Tuck, let's keep giving the team those sandwiches and drinks. Blockhead, Bonehead, and Pinhead here all agree that the only place to get energizing and delicious food is Subway, copyright symbol, and no one notices three 300-pound men sneaking away to power down some fast food. The guys have a barefoot walk down the beach while eating footlongs, and it's not gay, I assure you, while intricately describing the exact sandwich orders they just placed as a way to remind the audience, I swear to God, Subway actually serves vegetables and meat, not just gray slop and food scraps. When something terrible happens. Whoa, hey guys, look, is that Aquaman? What the heck are those guys up to? I don't know, but it can't be any good. We can't let them get away with that. Let's go, guys. Yeah, but I haven't finished my sandwich. Come on, Michael, it's Aquaman! This is such an absurdly perfect scenario of none of this makes any sense, but it's going to work out just great because our heroes are emboldened by the product placement. First off, look at Aquaman here. He is clearly unconscious or injured, and the people holding on to him are what appear to be rescue divers? So why is the gang's immediate first exclamation, it can't be any good? They're not actively forcing his trident up his asshole, so at first glance this panel seems like they're trying to save him from something. Second off, what the hell do you guys expect to do? Swim out to waist-deep water and football tackle them in it? Long before you get close enough, they're gonna dive into the water and swim away, especially if these are evil, super-trained scuba diving henchmen who can do submerge missions with their eyes closed. And 3, and most importantly, this is 2011, 5 years before Jason Momoa made Aquaman cool in public consciousness. Before that, Aquaman was seen as a complete and utter joke among mainstream audiences, and even a good portion of comic fans. This scene is not historically accurate. If anything, Michael Strahan should be saying, hey guys, look, it's Aquaman and he's hurt, let's all point and laugh at him. So somehow, through the power of magic, Aquaman and the scuba divers teleport out of the waist-deep water right up to the shoreline so that the football players can football tackle them. I'm serious, compare the panels. But then, Black Manta and motherfucking Ocean Master show up. It's the Black Manta and Ocean Master. You're out of your depth, athletes. Aquaman is ours, and no football players are going to stop us. Did Batman really think a gamer could stop me? Ocean Master fires a net gun at the football boys, and one of them says, wow, that was a close one, even though his teammate was very clearly shot in the legs, so as hard as I keep trying to avoid football players or dumb meathead stereotype jokes, this comic's not really giving me a lot of wiggle room. Then the Green Lantern shows up, and half the people on the beach watching go, who the fuck is that? Oh, his name's Green Lantern? Oh, I've never heard of him, but okay, he seems alright. So while the Green Lantern comically dispatches Ocean Master and Black Manta, the football dudes begin beating up the scuba divers, who I am really fairly confident so far have done absolutely nothing wrong and still could just be heroic scuba divers trying to save Aquaman from the supervillains, but that doesn't matter because the next panel is amazing. Black Manta and Ocean Master just tried to kill a member of the Justice League, whom they they both hate very, very, very much. And when their plans are foiled by just one superhero with some sports players on backup, they're willing to call the day a victory by stealing a $5 sandwich. Amazing. Put this in the archives with the Mr. Free Gamer pick and the Rainbow Snowflame explosion. This panel should reign in infamy. The rest of the Justice League shows up and everyone yawns now because Superman and the Flash are just going to beat the villains up because they're unstoppable god forces, and the NFL players comment on how thanks to the energy of the Subway sandwiches, they were also able to help save the day, I guess. Also, Wonder Woman shows up and asks if she can use her lasso of truth to wrap up their package for them, and she's referring to the debatably evil scuba divers, but initially I thought she meant their sandwiches, and I thought this comic was gonna seriously have Wonder Woman prepare some sandwiches for the men using her fucking super-powered magical artifact, and that just made me laugh real good. Batman shows up just in time to suffer heat stroke from dressing like that on the beach, while Aquaman says he should never go swimming alone ever again, which is absolutely moronic, and it's like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saying, oh boy, this is 100 pounds of weight, I should really use a spotter. And then we get an absolute classic product placement moment that actually made me smile because I think once, just once, one of these corporate shill comics has finally become self-aware. Thanks for the help, guys. If you hadn't shown up, we might not have found Aquaman in time. Our pleasure. That was almost as fun as the game will be. I'll take that. Bah! Come on. Come on. You can't have Black Manta, a character whose entire reference sheet is summarized as, I really, really fucking hate Aquaman. You can't have him be summarized with a comical snidely whiplash, bah! And not realize how, like, dumb in 1940s that feels. And that's the end of issue 1. Overall, it's fairly harmless, actually, especially in the guise of wallet stuffer comic books. We've seen dumber and more poorly handled, and at least this one wasn't too shy to have a bit of fun with its characters. But evil always lurks in the shadows. It's often the devil that you don't know that you should fear compared to the demons that you live with. This is just issue 1 of 4. We still have 3 full experiences of human depravity to sit through. So let's sit through number 2. Wow, that was a really, really clever pun. Issue 2 is Slam Dunk and features Blake Griffin of basketball semi-importance and Eric Andre show mega stardom.
And we're back with Blake Griffin.
Carl Edwards is also there, and in an incredible move in advertising, 12 other brands that aren't Subway are on this front cover alone. Now, points for DC to trying to duo-deck dip into the cash grab world, but they still sit at negative 600 for unironically trying to brainwash me into thinking it's ever, at any time, a good choice to eat at Subway. Things start out very, very poorly for our intrepid young hero Blake Griffin within the first 2 panels. See if you can spot what the problems might be as soon as I'm done reading them. Welcome to Subway, registered trademark. May I take your order?
Turkey and bacon on wheat with avocado, please. So good.
Number 1, Blake is easily swayed by advertising. His order at Subway is literally just reading the suggested menu item out loud verbatim, thankfully harnessing at least some cognizant brain power to add "with wheat" to his generic sandwich sentence. And secondly, look at him in this panel. They really didn't do him any favors here because in my opinion, this sits right on the border of making him look dopey as shit. Now look, I know next to nothing about Blake Griffin. In fact, the only time that I've ever heard of him before is when he was on the Eric Andre show, like I mentioned earlier. And I'm sure he's a very nice and intelligent, respectable fellow. But Bruno Redondo, who is an artist with a name that sounds like he's literally an old rejected 1940s supervillain, did Blake Griffin really dirty with the art on this one because he looks like a straight up buffoon. While eating the signature Subway menu item, cardboard stuffed with salty jelly, Blake remembers that he's going to be late to his slam dunk show. After all, world-class athletes always get fast food completely alone right before a big sporting event. Thank God professional stock car racer Carl Edwards is there in full racing attire to give Blake a lift. He does so in his NASCAR car, which is not even remotely street legal. I mean, seriously, haven't you seen Disney and Pixar's Cars? NASCAR cars don't have headlights or turn signals. I'm guessing Carl is going to kill at least 2 children who didn't pass the visible above my front bumper test on the way to the clash of the Cro-Magnons.
Thanks for the lift, Carl.
Have you there in record speed, Blake? Good thing I had a great meal at Subway, registered trademark, today that fueled me up.
Yeah, wait. No one ever eats a good meal at Subway. Why are you lying to me, Carl? Me thought we am friends.
Then the car stops and they react to the Justice League fighting Gorilla Grodd and his army of gorillas.
Carl, we have to help.
You're right, Blake. The average silverback gorilla can lift over 1,700 pounds of dead weight. That's roughly twice the world record deadlift in the men's competition, and easily more than 5 times an average deadlifting session for you lunkheads out there. You know what you can do to help Blake Griffin and Carl Edwards? You know what you can really do to help the Justice League fight this army of fully grown, psychically linked gorillas? Run the fuck away as fast as you can while diligently covering your neck and genitals. That's really all you can do to help. Blake and Carl realized what they said was categorically stupid, so they instead decide to round up people as fast as they can to lure them away from the action. But then, this happens. And I actually kind of love this part.
Your weak and tired minds will be mine.
Sorry, Grodd, your mind control doesn't work on us. We're not tired.
Because we ate right at Subway, registered trademark.
And got energized by the avocado, the superfood for the everyday hero.
Was gonna save this move for the shooting contest, but...
Bonk!
Org, my powers! My beautiful gorillas are no longer under my control!
This is kind of fucking amazing. This series of comics reminds me of all those classic ads you'd see in the golden era of comics where superheroes weren't just superheroes without their insert product here. That's how you end up with the Joker looking crazy for turning down Hostess fruit pies and Superman getting shocked and offended that Lex Luthor would ever dare ask him the secret as to why his peanut butter's so damn good. I know there were initial reservations here, but this is admittedly kind of awesome. Witnessing a psychically powered gorilla alien control an army of literal super strength beings and 2 sports players being able to resist his mind control because they had a fucking sandwich for lunch? This is, and I'm shocked to say, this is exactly what I want from a comic book. It even ends with a feel-good fun time as Green Lantern gives the 2 a lift using his power ring, and then uses his powers to help Blake Griffin totally cheat and underhandedly win the slam dunk contest. This is so perfectly interwoven into the loops back around to being amazing horseshoe theory of stupid writing. Well, thank God nothing's gonna happen later to ruin all of this, right? Let's keep reading. Time for episode 3. We are the champion. Oh my fucking God, look at Michael Phelps. 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 At the Gotham City Athletic Training Center, Nastia Lukin, Michael Phelps, and Apollo Ono, world gold medalists in flipping around, swimming good, and showing water how fucking stupid it is when it freezes, respectively, are all training when their coach announces their incredibly off-putting, hyper-realistic Subway Eat Fresh lunch is here. Apollo reacts to his lunch with the same reaction he'd have after discovering you're allowed to combine different foods together and it's not illegal, while Phelps powers down meatball sub after meatball sub, which is going to leave a nice brown snail trail behind him in the pool in about 30 minutes. But now's not the time for swimming, it's the time for Batman to burst through the wall! Kicking his ass through the plaster is S-tier and F- tier Batman villains Mr. Freeze and Solomon Grundy, who are looking for Green Lantern, which would make them the only people on the planet interested in what Green Lantern's doing right now. Batman literally sprays Solomon Grundy with some anti-Solomon Grundy spray, which again just subtly keeps convincing me these comics are actually awesome. Grundy slips into the pool, but Mr. Freeze begins to freeze it so he doesn't fall in because Grundy's got a big old fear of water. There's still a child in the pool though, so Michael Phelps, shockingly out of character, tells the kid to go fuck himself and chuckles sinisterly as he's frozen into a pure block of ice, dying instantly. No, I'm kidding. He jumps in to save the child. Fucking what did you expect to happen? While the human otter saves the little boy and I brace for a hard tongue twister, Apollo uses his Olympic speed skater skills I just learned he had from Google just now to cut a hole in the ice for Grundy to fall into. And finally, as Freeze tries to zap Green Lantern with his cold gun doohickey, Nastia does a gymnastics flip floor routine to kick him in the fucking head and oh god. Oh, what do I feel right now? Oh no, oh no. I feel something. I feel kind of sick. Oh God! God! No! Is this exciting? Am I getting excited to read this? Is this campy, over-the-top fun? Utilizing a decently thought-out skill set test for celebrity cameos? Am I really unironically enjoying a fucking Subway ad? God damn it. At least advertising doesn't work on me.
And then before Mr. Freeze could retaliate, Batman and Green Lantern... Oh. Fuck, I guess it is working. Anyway.
From what I hear, you don't have any superpowers yourself, Batman. Nah, but he's got a heck of a Swiss Army knife. Anyway, where did you get the energy to perform like that? I could always use a little extra stamina in my duties.
It's all about eating right. Avocados are a superfood and the fuel for the everyday hero, and Subway registered trademark has such an amazing sandwich selection that it kept us energized without getting bogged down with that heavy feeling in your gut.
And Phelps had 2.
Make that 3.
Yeah, I could totally make a lot of jokes here, how like Batman's line is really suggestively sexual, or how the entire crew thinks Michael Phelps eating 3 meatball subs in one sitting isn't gonna bloat the shit out of him, but we have a bigger problem. I like this. I really like this, not the sandwich, it's really mediocre. I like this comic book more than a lot of straight up actual comic books that I've read lately. Why the fuck is a sandwich advertisement a perfect blend between over-the-top superheroing and grounded character ideas? How does this so perfectly nail both characterization of the heroes and make the celebrities come off as genuine, likable people 90% of the time? When the fuck am I gonna pick that off my floor? Why is each and every inch of this comic plastered with the Subway logo, and yet I don't even mind seeing it like it's somehow natural in this universe that I made out of a brand loyalty food chain filled with fucking slop that's normally reserved for a namesake that's a place that's covered in hobo piss? Where did I get this second Subway sandwich I dropped on my floor? This is fucking wheat bread. The first one was white. It's chicken. It was tuna. Leave this in. Don't edit this out. Let the people watch me eat like the goddamn animal I am. Lastly, how bad is this gonna hurt me when we reveal the finale? We've seen familiar foes up until now. While the rest of the villains in this comic are a toss-up on whether or not they're big in the public consciousness, Mr. Freeze is a bona fide top-tier Batman villain, so this comic is not afraid to resort to big names while not fucking them up. Unlike some other comic book I happen to know. I think it's time we finally finish this. Oh, and let's keep reading the comic too. Subway presents The Justice League, Part 4. Knockout. This time starring Laila Ali, world-renowned professional boxer and daughter of Muhammad Ali. And Jared Fogle, who is Jared Fogle. I don't know about you, but I'm hungry. Let's go to Subway registered trademark restaurants. But we better hurry if we're going to beat the lunch crowd, Laila. Hold up, Jared. What's going on over there? Looks like we aren't the only ones with the craving for Subway registered trademark sandwiches today. Already I'm sickened. Look at the dead-eyed stare, and really listen to the robotic canned dialogue coming from this automaton pretending to be a human. Something is very, very wrong with this issue. It's obvious. Green Lantern of Sector 2814, you must be destroyed. Riveting conversation, but you're welcome to try and fail. Who the fuck is this? Seriously, who the hell is this? Well, it turns out this little guy is known as a manhunter android, and he's just one of a giant army of these guys hell-bent on overzealously enacting intergalactic anti-crime policies. But that's strange, right? All the other issues featured big-name villains, at least in the comic book world. Ocean Master, Black Manta, Gorilla Grodd, Mr. Freeze, and Solomon Grundy are all names even the lowest of intermediate comic book fans will know of. Why rake in the Manhunters, especially just one from a group that's the definition of giant evil robot army? Lantern and the Manhunter tussle a bit until a nearby group of support beams is knocked from their scaffolding. Before one of the beams can crush a man, Jared leaps into action to save him.
Ah! Whoa! How'd you do that?
By eating Subway registered trademark sandwiches in my active and fit lifestyle, of course. I'm 245 pounds lighter and I even ran a marathon. There's just something so wrong here. There's just something wrong. Well, let's keep reading. Lila and Lantern whoop the Manhunter's ass as Jared backs up a cement truck to encase it away. The rest of the Justice League arrive to do some superheroing and they fully imprison the automaton, saving the day. Thanks for lending a helping hand. The same goes for all of you. Turkey on wheat, scoop the bread out, veggies, salt and pepper, oil and vinegar, pickles. Sounds like you're still up for lunch. And what about my favorite superfood, avocado? Wouldn't want to leave that out after a day like today. Who knows what else we might encounter? I'm definitely getting that. Only if you're buying. I've got $5 for a foot long. Hey! I figured it out. I figured it all out. I see how this all connects. I see why this last issue sits so wrongly with me, and it's because my jokes at the beginning are absolutely correct. Jared is the ultimate DC Comics supervillain because he operates in plain sight, befriending the very heroes that we depend on, and does it all with a smile on his face. Look through the comic again, but this time remember that this is 2011, a full 4 years after initial suspicions arose about him, and potentially even longer after he had already done terrible things. Let's cut back to when Jared saves that construction worker from those collapsing steel beams. How does a mere mortal man explain an entire sales pitch of Subway registered trademark in the middle of tackling someone out of the way of a deadly, deafening accident? Jared is not only able to explain his entire infatuation with Subway sandwiches and talk over a roaring crash of steel girders while in the middle of an athletic super jump, but he can do it all with a smile on his face. It's almost like the comic thought it was important to show what a superhuman Jared was perceived to be at the time. Why does Jared know how to drive a cement mixer? I'm pretty sure Jared has never been forklift certified, so I'm pretty sure he's never driven any industrial equipment whatsoever. But no, as he begins to immobilize a fully sentient being, or trap another victim in other words, he's just got a smile and a thumbs up. And then there's this. Look at this. Look at Superman. He knows. He fucking knows. He can feel it in Jared's ice-cold grip. That look of reserved hatred, of hidden horror, all over the Man of Steel's face. He's keeping up appearances because he knows that he's looking at something more disastrously malicious than anything he's ever faced before, and he's not ready to open that can of worms just yet. And if you're really not convinced, think of it this way. This comic series came out in 2011. The first investigations on Jared launched in 2007, and he was arrested in 2015. The entire time until then, that man's career did not stop. For all of those 8 investigative years, Jared did endorsement deals, starred in commercials, publicly appeared at charity events, collaborated with celebrities, cameoed in movies, and in 2013, 2 years before his trials, had a net worth of over $15 million. and he got to star in a DC comic book with the Justice League, alongside some really remarkable and talented people, and unfortunately, their cameos are now tainted forever because of him. Jared is the most evil villain in DC history, because he was a real-life villain operating in the shadows. If you really want to hear some truly terrible things that I absolutely cannot play in this video, do yourself a favor and listen to his secretly recorded phone conversations. It's really disturbing stuff, and to me it makes the contest I proposed earlier a winner with no thinking required. Jared was seen as a hero by a lot of people, when really he was the greatest villain we could ever imagine. And it's a fucking shame, because without him in it, these comics are actually pretty good for what they are. With the knowledge in the back of your mind that these are just advertisements, I like these a lot. They have writing that includes each athlete with some level of cleverness. They produce a huge after-school special vibe, like something you'd see parodied in modern cartoons. If you remember the Justice Fruit Pie skit from Dexter's Lab, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of things were ruined by that man beyond just this line of comics. And even just reviewing it makes me feel awful knowing that these were printed with a goal in mind of making Jared look as likable and inspiring as possible. Without Jared in them, I could easily say these are some of the best product placement comics DC has ever spawned, but it's impossible to do that now. Oh well, fuck that guy. Let's lighten things up a bit, huh? How about for my next comic video we talk about, oh okay, how about we finally talk about All-Star Batman that I promised I would talk about like a long time ago, because that's just the stupidest shit that was ever written. It has Batman calling Robin, which is totally in character for Batman, oh yeah. But bye now. By the way, you can thank College Humor for the footage of Jared at the Avengers 2 premiere. That video is still on their channel. If that video gets taken down after I release this one, I want full credit for its removal and its deletion to become another notch in my belt of great shit I've done for the internet.